Hello, 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 hello. Hello, LinkedIn. Hello, Facebook. And hello, YouTube. It is so great to see everyone. My name is Linda Murray Bullard. They call me the Business Plug. And you've just turned into the Business Plugs Mixer. Go ahead and share, tag your friends. This conversation you're not going to want to miss, and you're going to regret it if you do. If by chance you are watching it in the replay, then put hashtag replay so I know that you've seen it. And if you have any questions, you're free to put your questions in the comment section of the video wherever you are on either of the platforms. In addition to that, if after we are finished, you have questions, we'll come back and answer your questions. But go ahead and like the page and share the page, but also click on the bell so that you'll be notified every time we come on. So every Sunday here at 7 o'clock p.m., this is what we do. We do the Business Plugs Mixer. I want to tell you two things before we start the show. The first thing is, if you would like to be on the mixer, I am always looking for great talent. So if you're an interesting person, and you're doing something that you think needs to be out to the world, I'd love to have you on. The link is in the description of this video. Also, if you are interested in starting a business and you want to start a business the right way, my class starts on Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. It's called Building Your Own Business. I will be with you for 12 consecutive weeks, and we go through learning the business side of doing business. That link is in the description of this video as well. So, with all that housekeeping stuff out of the way, I want to introduce you, and I hope I say your name right, Ashiqua. Okay, so Ashiqua and we just met yesterday, guys, so don't hold it to me. But I just wanted her, so someone couldn't be on today, and you know me, I'm going to always try to find somebody who's interesting to come on so that you get introduced to the fabulous they're doing in the world. So Ashiqua is actually in Memphis, Tennessee, and she is the CEO and founder of, say the name of the business, AVIATI Healthcare. So people may or may not know, I'm on the other side of the coast of Tennessee. I'm on the southeastern side. She's on the southwestern side. So tell the people over here on the southeast what's going on with AVIATI Healthcare.
Yes, hello. Thank you so much for having me on your show today. I'm super excited, and I know you mentioned about your class. I just want to say real quick, me and Linda just met yesterday, and she has already blessed her life. So y'all make sure y'all sign up for that class. You can't say that. I'm serious.
Thank you. We can talk about that too. We can talk about our little discussion yesterday.
Yes, absolutely.
Which was wonderful.
It was. It really was. So yes, I started a clinic in Memphis, Tennessee called AVIATI Healthcare. And really the name AVIATI is a combination of my kids and my husband and all of our names. So it's just a made up combination of our names. Because I do this because of them.
Absolutely.
So I'm a family nurse practitioner, and the focus of my clinic is clinical research.
Wow.
So I've been in healthcare for over 22 years. I've been a nurse for a long time. I'm a nurse practitioner for about 4 years now. And I started my business about a year ago. So it was a few things. Like I looked at the COVID numbers, saw that minorities were not represented in the trials. And I just kind of thought on it a little bit, like what could I do, but really didn't do anything. And then I felt like I was going to start a clinic this year anyway, last year anyway, and start kind of just praying about it, trying to see what direction I was going in. Connected with an old colleague of mine. She was doing research and taught me everything I knew. Her name is Renita Talley. She is absolutely amazing. She taught me everything I needed to know about research. And before I knew it, like I already had a site. And I was like, oh, this is real. Like, I'm starting a business. And I do want to say this, too. You know, I've been a nurse all my life. I haven't been a business owner. So you all may be experts in your field, but not necessarily in business.
You better
so it's always good to have a coach. It's always good to have support. It's always good to have mentors. So let's not get confused and think you can do everything. Like, you can be you can do things well, but we want to get the expert help that we need in certain areas.
I love that.
Okay.
I love that.
Yes.
Because how we met, and so they're familiar. I've had a couple of other students on from Black Business Boom. Because I always, when I get Danielle's great students, that she gives me the freedom to access. When I get them on, I try to get them on the show because they're so fabulous. Like, remind them about Black Business Boom. You went through a program.
Yes. So Black Business Boom is absolutely amazing. So I started out, they had a marketing program, and these are all free services. And it's to help small business owners. Some things you may already be doing, but just the level of expertise and just how they break things down, it's just been amazing. And then I enrolled in their bookkeeping. And that's how Linda and I met, is through the bookkeeping. So I believe the marketing was about 6 weeks, and then the bookkeeping was about 4 weeks. But everything is free, guys. So look it up, apply for it. It has really been very beneficial to me, and even the relationships, like you see other business owners, and you might chat or connect. Well, they may be doing something similar or totally different, and you can support each other. They put us in a group with like cities, so you met people in your same city. They may be doing a different business or something similar to you. But I think it's important for me to say, and I say this all the time, that you don't have competition. Like, think about it. Like, if you have a business, somebody told you to start their business. I say God told me. So something led you to start their business. So what's ordained and what's meant for you is meant for you.
Come on.
So we can learn from other people, but don't look at other people as competition. I give freely the knowledge that I've learned, because like I told you, somebody helped me. Like, I had no way of breaking into clinical research, and it's hard to break into. So she was free with me, so I'm free to give to others. So if somebody's interested in research, feel free to reach out to me, and I'll help another person to get involved in research.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I actually, after our conversation yesterday, I have a nurse practitioner business here in Chattanooga that I helped start. And so I was asking her questions last night, like, hey, what you doing over there? Because I want to spread the wealth of, because what you do, let's talk about that. What you do is so important, because you are offering health care and services to a underserved community. And so you're getting the information, because sometimes the truth of the matter is, sometimes the information does not flow like it should.
Absolutely.
To everyone. I mean, there are pockets of populations that really don't know what's going on.
Yes.
And so what you're doing is you are getting the information down to the grassroots of our communities, and the information is going to make us all better.
Right. Yes.
So I've been talking about you. I was with my friend yesterday, and I was telling him about it. I've been just telling the world about, honey, this amazing person that's out here in the streets doing these things. But so tell them. So you went through Black Business Boom, and then part of the program that you just finished, the bookkeeping portion. Because those who follow me know that one thing I'm an advocate of is businesses, especially minority businesses, getting financial acumen, like increasing your numbers, increasing your knowledge about your numbers for your business. Like, I am an advocate for that. And so when Danielle and her staff reached out and asked me would I coach some of the businesses that went through the program, I'm like, yeah, because financial acumen, how can I not, you know?
Right.
But it makes you stronger, and it makes you able to make decisions based on data and not on emotions or feelings.
Absolutely. And that's important, like knowing your numbers just in general. I think I do a pretty good job of doing it even before, because I'm kind of tight with money personally. So it flows into this.
Absolutely, which is not a bad thing.
Right. So I follow a lot of Dave Ramsey's principles, and I did that years and years ago.
Yeah.
You know, I'm really big on financial literacy, and I've done a few classes at my church and things like that. But just knowing your numbers, like we can't just be out here trying to start businesses and not know your numbers. I was talking to my kids today. And I said, my son is like big on wanting to do something. And I'm like, okay, Timothy, let's talk about it. So if you want to sell something, whatever you want to sell, let's just put a price on this, $100. You have to subtract what you spend. Like, you can't just start a business and just start, I'm going to eliminate things. You know, you have to buy things.
Exactly.
So I'm trying to teach them even now, like, it's not just going out there starting things. And we will do that. And sometimes it works out. Sometimes it doesn't. But just
most times it doesn't.
Right, exactly. But having the support. Yeah.
It is crazy.
Backtrack, right? You got to backtrack.
Yeah. And some people like to build their parachute while they're falling out of the plane. And there are those schools of thought that think that's the only way to fly. And I'm not, whatever floats your boat, go ahead and do your thing. But for me, I like learning from other people's mistakes.
Absolutely.
I don't have to make them all. I don't even want to make them all. I want to be that student that learned that something was hot because somebody else touched it.
Absolutely.
I don't want the burn. I don't want the sore. I don't want the after. Any of that. If you can tell me how to get to the shortcut, that's where I'm at. I'm trying to get to the shortcut.
I love it. I feel
yeah, I'm telling you, I don't want to make everybody. I don't have to make all the mistakes. I really don't.
Yeah,
I don't feel
but
that.
You mentioned our health equity, and that's part of the reason why I started AVIATI Healthcare and focused on research, because I feel like even as a healthcare provider, nobody has ever mentioned a clinical trial to me, ever. And it's plenty out there. So with my own experience with the COVID vaccine, this isn't a discussion about whether or not you use it or not. It's just a matter of, it was a vaccine out there that most healthcare providers were required to take. So if you're required to take it needs to be the vast population. Like, everybody needs to be included, the data and the results and what the COVID vaccine does to each and every one of us. Absolutely. And the numbers were staggering. They were not good. Minorities were not represented.
Exactly.
So with that being said, I'm like, okay, so what can I do? How can I at least bring education? Because we have to be honest, it's a lot of reasons why minorities don't participate in clinical trials. And some of that is fatigue. Some of that is just when you go to your healthcare provider, you don't feel like you're being heard. You don't feel like you're getting the care that you need.
Right.
So I just feel like let me at least educate. Let's talk about trials. And even if my site doesn't offer that trial, let me tell you what you need to ask to get involved in trials.
Absolutely.
He has some things going on, and I'm like, have you thought about going to clinical trial? And like, he's 81. So that's maybe a different school of thought.
I like that.
The more I talked to him about it, he actually did a lung cancer prevention study with me. And he did. Yeah. So I was pretty excited about that. And I was able to educate him that because of Tuskegee, a lot of things came out of it. So I feel like every mistake is a great opportunity.
It's a learning opportunity.
Right?
Absolutely. It's a learning opportunity.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And you got started with the COVID vaccine.
Yeah.
And so we didn't talk about this yesterday, but I actually drove to the hospital flatline, was on a ventilator, and in a coma for 15 days.
Wow.
Unvaccinated.
Yeah.
Unvaccinated. And so for me, for people who have my comorbidity, right, we need the vaccination. I mean, we just do. Because we already know how our bodies act without it.
Right.
And so being in a study where it's not enough minority input puts us at risk. Mm-hmm. So if we can get into studies and become a part of the solution as opposed to a part of the problem, then it benefits all of us. Right. So I've had one other person, I told you about it yesterday, Myra Funville. came on and talked about clinical trials. She's a scientist, so she's on the other end, but she's doing the same thing that you do in trying to get more education out to underserved populations so that we understand how important it is to be a part of clinical trials. And then when you and I were talking yesterday, I was like, well, lead with the fun part. Lead with the fun part, because what we also don't know is that there are some clinical trials that actually gives benefits to the participants. And that could look like formula, that could look like diapers, that could look like money. Like those things that are people use and need, right? And so a lot of people don't know that by merely or healthcare. Because it has benefits. And so we don't know about clinical trials, and what some of us have heard about them, we hear all the adverse effects, right? We don't hear about that you can actually benefit from being a participant in a clinical trial.
Absolutely. Yes. And that's really what I want people to know about too, is most times when you participate in a clinical trial, you're a volunteer, right? So you volunteer. If people don't know either, once you sign up, you can withdraw at any time. Like if you feel like that's not good. But you also get compensation. You get compensated for your time and travel. And with informed consent, the form consists of about 15 to 40 pages, like they're long. So they explain everything, risk and benefit, what to expect, every visit, everything we'll do at every visit is all outlined. And we go over that informed consent before we do anything to you. So we just, and you can take it home, you can talk to your family, because we want you to be informed. We don't want you to sign up for something and just say, oh, I just did it. No, we want you to actually understand. We like anytime I do an informed consent, I'm asking you about 3 or 4 times. Do you have any questions? Do you understand? Because I want to make sure you understand. I don't want you to say, oh, she put me in this trial and this wasn't what I thought it was. You know, if you get benefits from it, you know exactly the risk that comes from it. I can tell you about a few examples, like with the infant formula. Everybody knows it's a shortage, and it still is a shortage. But at the peak of the shortage, I started getting infant formula trials. And this was a time when moms could not find formula. So what I ended up doing, it wasn't really about the trials at first. First, it was just about helping moms find formula. So I know as a new mom getting out of the hospital, you're more than likely not going to stores. So what we did, we started finding formulas for the moms and telling them where you can get it, who has it, because like formula was going off the shelf like that. So it started off like I call it a formula trial, just trying to help moms get the formula. And then for moms who just couldn't find formula, this was maybe an option for some of them, not all of them. But then you got free formula. You got compensated for your time and travel, and then you got additional medical care for your baby. So this was in addition to your pediatrician visits. We did the height, the weight. It was just like a pediatrician visit. And most moms, like this one mom in particular, she had participated in the trial before, so she was familiar with the trial. But she called me for 3 weeks because we needed her medical record. She wanted to get in the trial because she knew the benefits of trials because she had another baby in the trial. And she had a fussy baby. So this was a fussy baby trial to help, no guarantee, but if you had a fussy baby, it was to help moms with fussy babies. She was so thankful when she finally got into the trial that she was just overjoyed. And not to mention that she got compensated for the trial. And sometimes we offer transportation if you don't have transportation. So we try to make it as easy as possible for moms. For anybody, I should say. But most importantly, we try to educate. Like everything isn't bad about clinical trials. You may not benefit like today, but your children and your children and your children's children may benefit. And so we have to think about that too. Absolutely. Sometimes it's not about you, it's about the next generation.
Absolutely. And you know, my middle son had a hernia removed when he was 1.5 years old. Okay. So that was 36 years ago. And they were just coming out with the liquid Band-Aid. And so I allowed them to put liquid Band-Aid on him
Wow.
as a part of a clinical trial, in lieu of them giving me the services, his surgery and all that.
Right.
So there were things that we benefited,
Absolutely.
from, because I allowed them to test the liquid Band-Aid for him.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have, to my knowledge, he doesn't have a scar or anything showing that he went through that. But that was an emergency surgery that his hernia had ruptured.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but it's things like that. And if we don't know, we don't know.
We don't know.
And so that's why I love the fact that you are coming on, that you told me yes yesterday, that you would come on and have this conversation about clinical trials, because there are so many things, right? There are so many things. And we talk about, well, don't test animals and don't do this and don't, there's a whole PETA and all that kind of thing. But then the other side of it is to the benefit that it benefits us. Our healthcare system gets better, our medications get better, our products get better,
Right.
and we become a part of that. And our numbers as minority groups becomes inclusive in the final results. I always look at things like metformin, right?
Yes.
And how they, after releasing it, they found that for some minorities that take it, it was detrimental. But then for other people, it was fine. Well, when they released it, they probably didn't have enough minority data to substantiate putting that warning on the bottle.
Right. And that's what we have to remember. Like, there's some hypertension medications just out there that studies have proven are better in African Americans than they are in other populations. So I know people oftentimes say, I don't want to be guinea pig, I don't want to be tested on or whatever. But we also have to think too, okay, a lot of times, like if you already have a condition or been diagnosed with something, more than likely you're already taking a medicine for it. Let's think about that. And then let's think about any medicine that you're taking right now today, you went through a clinical trial.
Somebody was tested for it.
Somebody.
And when you think about it, a lot of our comorbidities are genetic.
Yes.
And so the testing that we're doing could benefit our kids and grandkids.
Absolutely.
Who have our same diagnoses.
Yes. And we can't forget about that. We can't forget about that. So sometimes we have to think beyond ourselves. Yeah.
I mean, and beyond, and that was my whole COVID experience, right?
Yes.
Because I was not taking the shot because I wanted it to go through clinical trials. Because I told you, one of my great friends was over a research lab, and I was waiting for all the trials to finish or whatever, and I got sick. But in my hesitance, I didn't even think about, if I got the disease and died, how it would impact my children.
Right.
And my grandkids. Like I have two little grandkids. If they didn't see me anymore, they were like, what happened to her?
Yes.
Whatever happened to our grandma? So, and in my thinking, in my hesitance, I wasn't thinking about my kids or my grandkids. But then when I got sick, I was like, well, wait a minute. I'm the mama. If I'm gone, that impacts everybody.
Everybody, the whole family system. Yes, ma'am.
And so it's like you said, it's thinking outside of self. Because for ourselves, I was just waiting. It wasn't that I wasn't going to take it. It was just I was waiting to take it. I was being hesitant, and then that almost cost my kids their mom.
Yeah.
And I told you I have two firefighters who are first responders. And so they go on a lot of calls and have a lot of exposure and everything. And they weren't coming around because they didn't want to expose me.
Right.
And then I get it on my own, and then they're like, okay, what's going on with her?
Yeah.
But you have to be prudent in thinking this through anytime you get the opportunity to be a part of a study. I mean, outside of the financial or the benefits of it that are tangible, the intangible part of that is you are helping a relative or a person with like illnesses to get better. Just like somebody went through the study so that you could get better.
Right.
So that you could have medications.
Yeah.
And so it takes thinking outside of yourself.
Yes. That is so true. And like even I do this thing at health fairs where like I have a couple of medicines out there and I just do a trick question and just say, what does all these medicines have in common? And it's like aspirin, Motrin, baby Tylenol. And people just all confused. And I'm like, they all want to do clinical trial. It's a trick question. But people don't know that. And that's just giving people awareness of clinical trial. That's just planting the seed. And then I add more to it as we go.
Absolutely. So but that's a great place because very few of us can live without aspirin or ibuprofen or some type of medication. Right. Like in this world we live in. This world we live in, honey, because I told you I fell earlier and I'm an ibuprofen up before I go to bed. A Tylenol or something. But in this world we live in, it's very few of us that don't take something. Right. Whether it's topical or something we ingest. Right. Like if you fall, you're using Neosporin. Right. That's a medication that had to be tried. I mean, there are things that we don't think about. You think, well, I'm healthy and I don't want to put anything in my body. But then when you cut your finger, you get Neosporin. Right. And that's a medication. And so when you think about it thoroughly and you think about it as it is and the benefit of it, the cost and benefit, right? What does it cost you if you're already taking medications for a symptom, an illness or whatever? What does it cost you to join a clinical trial and learn how to perfect the medications for that illness?
Right. And I do want to mention too, because I know a lot of people have some concerns about getting a placebo. And a lot of times, let's just say it is a comparative study, meaning they're comparing that medicine against the placebo. A lot of times what people don't know is at the end, they offer you the medication, they offer you the treatment. So you may have gotten the placebo, but at the end of the study, they actually offer you that medication. So people don't know that either, that many times they do that so that you can have, benefits from their medication if it is. We can't really say it's guaranteed, but you will have that same access that the ones who receive the treatment have.
Absolutely. And the thing about it is just and they keep constant health monitoring on you while you're in the trial. Yeah. And so anything, it may go that they may have to pull you out or whatever, out of the sample or whatever. But the thing about it is you're being monitored by medical professionals the entire time. Yeah. So it's not like, even if you get the placebo, it's not like, okay, well, if my heart rate goes up or my blood pressure or my blood sugar or whatever that is, if it gets out of line, then you have medical professionals there to take care of you.
Absolutely. So, and I think it's added care. Like you can still go to your regular doctor and you come to us as well, and you see a provider. You get medical exams, everything. And like she said, we're closely monitoring you. Safety at AVIATI Healthcare and most sites all around. It's patient safety. Like we're not going to do anything, or we're not going to do anything questionable. What we're worried about is your health and safety. And we want minorities in these trials, but we also want you to be safe. We want to find an effective medicine that can work, for all of us.
Absolutely. And inclusive data is how we get there.
Absolutely.
Because that inclusive data will tell us that, these people with this type of gene or body chemistry or whatever can't take this prescription, and it becomes a warning on the bottle. Yeah. Whereas if that population of people are not involved in the study, there's no telling, and then you take it and something adverse happens and you're, no, don't take it. No. But that's how
we watch those adverse reactions. Like that's one of the things. As soon as you come in, we say if anything happens, a headache, you in a car accident, we want to know about that. So we watch everything. So don't ever think you're not being mom strict as you are. I even tell moms with babies. Like if you have to go to the ER for a car accident, the baby falls off the bed, that has nothing to do with the formula, but we want to hear about all of it, and we want to make sure that you're okay. So we do extra assessments as well.
See, that's good. That's good stuff. And so that's the level of conversation that people need to be aware of. That it's, again, the information is not trickling down so that everyone can be informed and make informed decisions about their health care. Because healthcare is not cheap.
Right.
That hospital bill alone for my little episode was $209,000. And so those 25 days, that was the biggest bill I ever seen in my life. It was almost the same price as my house. So, so because of that, because if I would have been preventive as opposed to reactive, I may not have had to go through all that, but I went through a lot. And it has changed my life forever.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we have to be more cognizant of what's happening in the healthcare field and how each one of us can play our part in making sure the medications that we get are inclusive of all of us.
Right. And I would like to say too, like, if you are interested in a clinical trial, or how sometimes we see the commercials on TV, ask your doctor. A lot of times doctors may or may not know about it, but it's a website I was talking about, Linda, clinicaltrial.gov.yes. And you can look any clinical trial. Most of them are on there. So say you're just interested in, I don't know, you have migraine. If you look on clinicaltrial.gov, you can actually find trials with migraine. It'll show you the site that are actually doing that trial. And if it's near you, you can always contact them. If it's not, you can still contact them and see if they know of a trial that's close to you.
Absolutely. And I've put that in the chat. Facebook.
Okay, good.
Facebook is bouncing it back, but for Facebook is clinicaltrials.gov.
Yep. That's correct. Yeah.
And so, go look and see what trials are out there in relation to the medications you're taking, the illnesses that you have, and see if there's an opportunity for you to be a participant in helping to make the studies more inclusive of everyone. And so that's the whole thing, is to educate and to expose the fact that when we all participate in the clinical trials, we make it better for us, but we also make it better for the generations behind us.
Right. Absolutely. We gotta be out there. We have to be at the table.
Yeah.
We absolutely have to be there. So just exploring the options, asking the questions, asking your doctor, do you feel like this is a good fit for me? It's a bunch of different questions. What benefits is it? What's the time requirement? Will I get paid? I mean, that's a good question.
Yeah. And how will it be absorbed by my lifestyle or my life? What are the requirements of me in order to be a great participant in this study?
And let me tell you this too, Linda. A lot of times, like, people don't see this part behind the scenes, but like when I first did a trial, you look at the inclusions and exclusions. So if it's something I think wouldn't work for my patient, then I tell the sponsor, well, this I don't think it's going to work for my patient. And sometimes it brings about change. Other times it doesn't. Like if you're requiring, 10 visits, 10 days straight, that's a lot. So we give feedback too. So just think about it. We're already fighting for you before you even get in the trial. And sometimes it does bring about change.
Yeah, I like that. Just knowing that you're not just, okay, we're getting it for the money. These are your patients. These are your patients that you see when they're not in trials.
Right.
And so they're part of your medical family.
Yeah.
Your healthcare family. Yeah. And so as a provider for services for people who come to you, who already trust you with their health care, like that's a big risk for you to get them in a clinical trial that would be adverse to them.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. And we look at everything in clinical trials. I tell people it's like very detailed. It's not like I can just put you in a trial. It's very specific inclusion criteria. It's very specific exclusion criteria. When sometimes it's a period before you can even get randomized, where it's like a pre-screening period. Like you can't have this for 7 days. You can't, so we really look at everything to make sure that we're not putting additional risk on you that you don't need.
Yeah. And that makes sense. And like I said, kudos to you for taking this line, because there are very few minority women in this field that's doing this. Like, there are very few around the country, and I feel honored that I got to meet one of them.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Between you and Myra, I'm going to have to connect you and Myra.
Yes,
but between the two of you, honey, I feel like I'm getting into the elites now. Hanging out with the elites now.
I don't know about that.
But what you're doing is so very important. Like, can't overstress how important it is to have people in underserved communities to have their data included in medical studies so that we can have the best healthcare system possible for all of us.
Yes, absolutely. And that's why I do it. I try to bring trials to the community because, like Linda stated in the beginning, a lot of times the information is not necessarily filtered down. And one of the other things I do is I bring awareness about clinical trials to providers. Like, I actually target minority providers. Because some studies have shown too that you would be willing to participate from your provider versus just doing social media and just kind of going out there. If your provider says, well, Linda, this would be a good option for you, then at least you would give it probably a little bit more thought than just saying, no, I'm not going to do that. I don't know.
Right, exactly. And that's the whole thing, is what they are learning with these studies is important for you as a patient to feel comfortable enough to participate in it, because the person that's instrumenting these studies are people who look like you, who you go to when you're sick, people you can trust.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's important. I think that that is the part that got politicized and everything else. And I think we got away from that. But I think it did us more harm than good in this pandemic, because a lot of the misinformation is worse than no information at all.
That really did hurt us out. But we just gotta, bounce back from and just try to get as much information out as possible. I know even for my father and father-in-law who would have never participated in the trial, like they were like waiting for the vaccine to come out. It was like, ooh, if we can't get in the trial, we wait. I was like, man, that's good, because something has changed, because they never would have got that vaccine.
Absolutely.
But they just felt different about it. So I was happy about that. And then we're doing a lung cancer prevention study. That I've got 2 people in that study that don't have a provider. So not only are they not getting the preventative services they need, and they're smokers, so they're at high risk for lung cancer, but they were able to get a free CT scan, and I was able to refer them to a primary care provider. So it's not just about the trial, it's still about, I'm a provider, so it's about helping people to get the help they need.
Absolutely.
You gotta do more than just do the trial. It's gotta be, okay, what services do you need? Even with the moms, like when they need different services, I have different partnerships. Sweet Cheek is an organization that gives away diapers. So I connect moms to that, even if they participate in the trial, if they don't. If you need diapers, because you know how diapers can be expensive.
Absolutely. Thank God I haven't had that. But my son just had a baby in November. So my youngest granddaughter, Navy May, was born November 18th. So the fussy baby one, I definitely sent his way. He was like, she's not fussy. Right. But if you have a fussy baby, there's a trial on my page where you can participate. Your baby can participate in that trial, then you can get some help with that fussy baby.
Yeah, it's hard to have a fussy baby.
Yeah, because a fussy baby makes the whole house fussy. Everybody's impacted by that baby. So I think that is a great study. And I'm glad that we're able to share it with people who probably need it, who probably ready to pull their hair out.
Right. I know, right? Yes, ma'am.
So before we close, can you give us some parting words about clinical trials for somebody who's on the fence?
Okay. Yes. So just think about a clinical trial as you want to make an informed decision. So you want to just get the facts. You want to just ask as many questions as you need to ask. Don't feel pressure, and just know at any point we're available. So if you are on the fence, let's just say about a hypertension medicine, ask the questions. Okay, what side effects might I experience? Okay, what happens after the trial? What's my pay compensation? What's required of me? So that then you're able to say, okay, see, I probably could do this. And then if you have additional questions, we're always available as well. You can always ask for the informed consent to take it home with you, to discuss and talk to your family about it. So just ask questions. That's what I would say, is ask questions. Make sure you get all your questions answered and make an informed decision.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. So my name is Linda Murray Bull. They call me the business plug. And today I've plugged you in with the benefits of participating in clinical trials with our family nurse practitioner, said it backwards, family nurse practitioner, Ashiqua Jackson, who is in Memphis, Tennessee. If you're in Memphis or in the area of Memphis, Tennessee, go ahead and give her a call. Her contact information is in the description. If you're anywhere else in the world and you're just curious about clinical trials, then her contact information is in the description of this video. Go ahead and reach out to her and ask those questions. I'll see you next Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, here on the Business Plugs Mixer. You guys have a great week, and we'll see you next Sunday.
Bye-bye.